very special guest, the content creator, a very excellent YouTuber, big on Instagram, Jono Hirst. And he's
Yeah,
here with me.
man.
I just reached out to Jono just recently. We actually are connected, and I'll probably I'll remind him of this. We actually connected a while back. But Jono, introduce yourself to the people, tell the people who you are and what you're about.
Well, first of all, Juma, thank you for having me on. It's a pleasure to be on here. And who am I? I like to think of myself as a professional fun haver, as a person who is a free spirit, goes around sharing good vibes, sharing positivity, and a brand ambassador of Trinidad and Tobago. I love my country, I Trini to the bone, and I wear Trinidad on my sleeve any and everywhere I go. You know, so that's me in a nutshell.
Right, and it shows in your content because your content really does highlight the things about the country that people love to see, the places, the people, the experiences, and all those different things. And over the past few years, you have really gained momentum in that space. And we'll talk about your how to cook with a how learning to cook with a guy who can't cook series later on. Because that's interesting in itself, because there's a certain degree to which you are taking a comedic spin on some of your content. But let's talk about how we met. So I don't know if you remember how we met. Do you remember?
Off the top of my head right now, you put me on the spot, and I will have to say no because my memory real bad.
All right. So let me remind you how we met. Right. I usually would pull up something, but I didn't want to pull up. This is because it's DMs. I don't want to pull it up. What happened is that you posted on Instagram. I think it was about someone stealing your content. Which I'm
that was like last year, sometime last year. Yeah, I remember that video.
That was somebody stole your content, and you were like, you wanted to put together a story about what people's experiences have been like when people have stolen their content. And I responded to that, and I said, yeah, I have had experiences with that. And we began talking in the DMs, and it just kind of fizzled out. Did you ever do that thing? Did you ever put that together?
Well, hey, how that kind of crashed very quickly because it's just quite simply because I contracted the COVID virus and was flat out in bed for a while, and that in itself put me in a kind of headspace that I didn't have the mental capacity to handle both of those things from a mental side at the same time now. So that just kind of flattened that project. And then after, I was like, you know what? I don't really want to go back to that particular project. I just feel like we should just continue and push forward, especially as I did document my COVID experience and my journey with it and put that out there to try and, assist and help anybody who may have been going through something similar.
Yeah, I saw that you did that. You would have contracted it at the end of August. Is that correct?
It was like that last weekend, August, kind of first weekend, September. I think I tested the Friday before. Oh no, I don't know. I think it was I was either the 31st. It was the holiday, Independence Day is when I started. Well, obviously couldn't get a test at that point in time because it's a holiday. So I tested the next day, the 1st of September.
Right. And you did document your experience. Both, I saw it on and this is on his YouTube, folks. If you want to go check out Jono's experience with contracting COVID. And I think it's very relevant that as a content creator, you were able to take what was happening to you personally and something that's happening that's relevant and create content out of it to educate people and to show them what the experience has been like. Because there are many people who, even in Trinidad and Tobago, who think the thing is not real. What are your thoughts on that in terms of your experience as a content creator having contracted the COVID-19 virus?
Well, that is a very intricate, multifaceted answer you're looking to derive there. So quite simply, that how I felt, I would not want you to experience something similar. I mean, and I've gone through this, we all have families, we all have family in and out of the country, and I've had multiple family members as well contracted. Some have landed in hospitals, some have landed, and then fortunately, and I thank the good Lord for this, that nobody has actually passed from the virus as yet. But we've had times where we've been really worried and concerned, you know. So it is a very real thing from my personal experience, having it, and two, having to deal with it from a family-based perspective.
Right. And I saw how disappointed you were when you got the second test positive. Who was that with you in that shot?
Of my dad,
Yeah.
because I was still at home, and like at that point there wasn't enough like information and knowledge about the virus. Still, it was still like brand new, because we were in the end of August, first week in September, so we didn't know what it was. And like now we can say that when that second test was positive, I wasn't actually positive. It was just remnants of the virus showing up in my body,
Right.
but I was not able to transmit the virus. The transmittability phase had ceased already.
Right. And I know a big thing about content creators, especially those who are used to go out to events and to go out on the field and do things to create content and to get paid. That's the main thing. To get paid for it. It's had a massive impact across the industry. Me, myself, being part of that content creation event capturing industry, we felt it when the very first month that we went into lockdown, all of our events got cancelled.
Yeah.
So how has that impacted you personally?
Well, let me kind of rewind and go back to the beginning when it first hit. Like, we had run Carnival. We did, I don't know, like 60 or 70 events coverage, from artists to cool event coverage to anything. We did that. So like when the pandemic first hit, I traveled to Guyana the week before we locked down completely. So like the 10th of March or something was my last flight out in 2020. And we came back, and then a week later, shut down. Right. So we was kind of like, all right, time to take things down. And we kind of needed a break physically, mentally, from, because if anybody's run a carnival season, they know how difficult, as a content creator, video producer, photographer, event coordinator, artist, from all these different perspectives, what it is and how difficult it is. And it takes it completely out of you, and you just feel drained, you know. So I was kind of, you know, we didn't think much of it at that time, and I was like kind of glad for the little break, and, you know, a little reset, some time off, you know, you spend time with your family, something that our rigorous travel schedule had not allowed for in a couple months prior, you know. And then, as it started to kind of climb uphill and go up the chain, myself and the guy I work with, NH Productions, started to get talking. I was like, okay, well, this thing seems a little bit more serious than it actually is. And we got to just different things and trying to figure out ways in which we could cope and make a living and survive the pandemic, you know. And then he was contacted to do a couple events, and we was like, yo, like, what if we put a little different bit of a spin on the lives that people were doing at that point in time. At that point, artists were just going live on their phone and singing to their phone to try and entertain their fans and engage with their audience. And so we thought to ourselves, like, how could we include what we do into this platform and kind of merge the two, and what can we come up with, you know? And like from that, I think one of the first things, we actually spoke about this yesterday, myself and NH. One of the first virtual performances we did was a Brooklyn festival with our local artists here, and that's actually on my YouTube channel as well. So like from that, it just kind of went up and up, and I was like, all right, well, how do we push limits and push boundaries again? And then Kes had this idea. It was like, yo, what if we do like a at-home concert series that would air on Independence Day?
Right.
We're like, yo, we like this idea thing, but we don't want to do it normal. So he had all of these different ideas in his head, and kind of came to us with the vision. I was like, okay, how do we make this happen? Like, how do we make this reality? So we kind of like, it had a huge team of people behind that, all giving their different opinions and reasoning for certain things. So NHS, the visual creative director, Nicholas Huggins, who would have worked on the artwork for the album, and then all of the guys who created the set and everything, you know, it was
Mm.
great. It was a great learning experience. Like I just operated there as a filmer. Like I would just go and film things, and I ended up filming part of the show with NH, and you know, it's a really, really valuable experience for me just to have that experience. A lot was learned. And
Right.
then from there, it's just kind of been everybody trying to do something similar and step up the game and really elevate what was being done or what is possible to the point where we filmed one a couple of weeks ago with him that's going to go live tonight if anybody's watching that
Tonight.
festival.
All right.
Um,
Where can people get that link? Where is it going to be live at?
it will be at I think it's ssunstudios.com.
Right.
But you could definitely check out Kesley Band's page. You could check out I think NH has posted the promo as well. NH Productions TT, and yeah, you could join on that, and that's really been how we kind of counteracted the challenge. And then on a personal level, the vlogs, the YouTube channel was really a goal of mine, something I wanted to start doing
Mm-hmm.
and incorporating a lot more of my professional life. Like we've gotten the chance to travel to some really amazing places, and I was like, yo, I don't do enough when I go to these places. I don't grab the opportunity, and I really wanted to take the content to a Caribbean wide basis, and when I go on tour with artists to film them and their performances, instead of putting out a recap video, do a behind the scenes vlog and put it on
Mm-hmm.
my channel. And you know, if we have time in the day, we go and ride jet skis, we go and hike up a mountain, we go on a waterfall mission,
Right.
something, you know, just adventurous out there, a little bit wild, and
Right.
create content
Right.
around those things.
That's an amazing thing. It seems that you have been adapting to some degree. I know nobody has it right, nobody has it perfect, but you are adapting to some degree, which I guess from a content creation perspective, especially for those who used to go out in person and do events, what kind of what did were you thinking about this before the pandemic hit, or is it that when it hit, it forced you to transition to this type of space, or is it that it was on your mind and say, you know, guys, we really have to find creative ways to take what we do and put it in the digital space, or did this kind of force you into it?
The easiest way to answer that is that there was a code that just kind of popped up online probably about the middle of end of April, early May last year.
Right.
And I don't know, I can't remember the exact source or who said the quote, but I remember it distinctly, and that was a pivotal moment in it. And they said, captivity forces creativity.
Ooh.
And
Right.
that kind of hit and sparked something inside of me, and I shared it around to my group of people who, you know, we work with, and I was like, yo, fellas, you know, let me see what we could do. Let me, you know, see how we could come up with creative ideas. And then that's kind of was a personal and professional change of scenarios for me. Whereas, all right, let's get a little bit more ambitious and see how big we could go, you know, and that was really it. And one of the other big projects that I did, and it's super privileged to get the opportunity to work on, is I was able to work on a Junior Reid and Julian Marley video that we actually supposed to fly to Jamaica last year to do. That in the pandemic, we were like, wow, how we gonna get this? And we linked up with a team of cinematographers from Jamaica. Big up to Just Bus, big up G-Rod Records, and we were able to put together a production that was done literally in 2 different countries at the same time.
Oh, okay.
So they would have filmed in Jamaica with the 2 artists and some of the locations and some of the B-roll, and then I incorporated some Trinidad shots and made it a collaboration of it, and we put out a music video from that. You know, it was a truly blessed experience to get to work with these guys, to get, you know, Junior Reid and Julian Marley, people's music we have looked up to and listened to for and since inception, really, since I was born at least.
Yes.
You know, that's one of the ways, and that's one of the occurrences that came out from this simple little saying.
Right.
Captain forces creativity. We had to figure out a creative solution to get the job done.
Yeah, I like that statement. I think anybody who is in the space that we're in, or in many other spaces, we have people impacted by this, like caterers. We have, well, right now all businesses in general impacted, but they could take that, and I don't know what that will mean to people, because I know some people are still frustrated by it. They don't know how they could actually use this as a platform to do something new. But just taking it from that perspective is a good way to take it.
Yeah.
So another thing that I felt was about your content, and I felt was really excellent, is that we spoke earlier. Well, you spoke about recording during the pandemic in 2 countries, but in Trinidad and Tobago, you had the most recent video you have, and I know you was kind of telling me when we were backstage that you haven't put up content recently, but the last video that you put up, it documents Port of Spain last year when the lockdown was first implemented, and there are some particularly chilling shots, like the Avenue, like St. James. And for people who are our international listeners who don't know, these are some of the busiest places in our capital city. The hustle and bustle, is food, is people, is hanging out, there's all different stuff happening, but it was totally dead. It was totally bare. And the other thing that was impacting is that you went to Maracas Beach and you did some drone footage up there, and I could not see a single person. I was looking through the footage, kind of picking it out. I couldn't see a single soul on the beach, and that's the most patronized beach in Trinidad. It was bare. Why did you feel it was important to document that?
One, because St. James is a city that never sleeps. You could never, ever, ever drive through St. James and see it completely empty. You can never drive on the avenue and not see people lying in the road, whether it is 2:00 on a Monday afternoon. Bet your bottom dollar to have somebody by the bar, somebody drinking, somebody buying foods. There's all these different things always happening. So for me, I was just driving around, and because I was in a kind of mental funk, and I just was like, yo, I just need to get out of my house and see what the outside world looks like, because I just kind of stayed inside. It was like that kind of...
Oh, did Jono get cut off there? I wonder if he did.
Yeah, okay.
You're back? Okay, you're back. Yeah, you were in a mental funk and you just needed to drive and get out. Go ahead.
Yes, I just got out and I saw it, and I felt that type of way. And I was like, let me just pull up my phone and film it. And I didn't do anything with the footage. I didn't have a purpose for it. I just kind of put it on a hard drive, and I was like, maybe one day that will have some value. And I actually got stopped quite a few times and when roadblocks and stuff like that. The one on the beach, I went, you know how I have the little platform in between Maracas and Las Cuevas?
I saw you went up there. I saw the shot from there from that angle. I saw that, yeah.
I was on that platform. I just pulled aside and I sat down in the car, and a police jeep rocks up behind me and it says, knock on my windows, and I said, good day, officer, how can I help you? So what going on? Yeah. Then I said, well, to tell you the truth, my car giving a little bit of trouble, and I was I said, I'll stop here, pull aside, take a half hour, and then do it. So I said, I had to do something to occupy my time. So I have a drone in the sky, and I said, I just say, can I look? And I said, if it's one thing, is like, it's either I was gonna get charged for sure, or they was gonna help me to my car home. Right, so either how I was getting back home.
Right. Either way, whether in the police van or
the one way or the other was going back home. So, right. And I just kind of, it was like, it had to be done. And I remember specifically watching a video. I think it was Casey Neistat. They were like, you always have to be willing to spend a night in jail to get the shot.
Who said that?
Casey, I think it was there's a guy, it was one of Casey Neistat
Casey
vlog.
Neistat. No, no. Let me interrupt you for one tiny second to say you do have the Casey Neistat stuff going on, right? Let me just say that, right? Just in case.
Well,
Anybody,
there's no secret behind it. Like Casey started it, and the logic behind him doing it was actually he can watch himself in the side monitor when he's filming, and that's one of the problems that I had as well when I started, and when I kind of was going through his vlogs, I was like, oh, the shades. I was like, that's why he wears it. So that's really the reason behind wearing the shades. So because as a filmmaker prior, my natural thing is to watch the screen, and if I'm watching the screen, I always look as if I'm watching off camera. But if I watch off
exactly.
camera, I could watch here, and there's no disconnect with the viewer.
That's right. That's right. Well, okay, but get back to finish the story. So you stopped at the police, and you were explaining why it was important to film. So you got stopped, and go ahead.
Yeah, so I just kind of weave on Bob my way around. Thankfully, they were understanding. They asked me if I needed any assistance or anything, and like at that point, like, is either I was gonna spend half an hour on my phone, or I was going to fly a drone. I was like, officer, like, come on, what would you rather do? If you have a drone in the car, it's not like I came here with that sole purpose. It's like I just took a drive. I got frustrated home. And I told the truth. That's what it was. I kind of tweaked the truth a little bit about the engine overheating, but they don't have to know that, you know?
Right. Well, hopefully none of them watching this today.
Nah.
Statute of limitations. Well, that was really, really telling. Like looking at that, I kind of like said to myself, when I saw it, because everybody was so concerned and nobody wanted to go outside. I'm saying, I hope somebody actually took the time to document it. And lo and behold, when I went onto your YouTube channel, I was like, hey, this is and particularly in Port of Spain, because that is like the main hub, and I suspect it was that way all around the country. So that's a win, and as far as I'm concerned, for you, that's a win as a content creator.
Well, for me as a content creator, I didn't view that as a win per se. It just felt like the right time. That
Right.
when we went into the state of emergency, when the seriousness of the situation escalated in the country, it was a kind of way to show people, in my view and from my perspective, how serious it was without actually saying, yo, guys, this thing is maybe a much bigger scenario than we think, And let's go back to last year. And that's why I made the reference back to last year specifically. And I didn't go out on film this year.
Right.
I went back to last year. It's like, yeah, we did it once. We survived. We overcame that hurdle. And we can do it again.
Right.
From that perspective is really where I wanted to do it. And I didn't want to outrightly say that. I just wanted to kind of piece together everything in a subliminal way. The kind of get it, because Trinidadians, you tell them, don't go by the savannah, and they will go by the savannah.
Right, exactly. It's the opposite.
So it was just my way of thinking of like, how do I occupy my time in a way that's beneficial to not only myself,
right,
and have a much bigger purpose for the content that I'm creating, because the content you create is a selfless act. You're either entertaining or educating people along the way and along the process, and that was a kind of way to tell a fun little story, but with a very deep, serious message behind it.
That's a great statement. The content you create is a selfless act. I like that statement. I could quote you on that, Jono. The content you create is a selfless act. So we're gonna put that on a T-shirt or something. I know. And I will get to your website afterwards, and I want to talk about your merch. But there's something else I want to talk about with your content. So you have a very, very specific style, and you sometimes talk about your style a very specific way that you edit the photos and you edit the video that you do. And I know from observation that you're a fan of Tariq Eastman. Yes, that's true. Right.
Tariq is my boy. I know Tariq a couple of years now. We met through the online digital platforms, and then I bounced up Tariq on a couple of events and jobs, and we worked on a couple of projects together. So Tariq is my boy. That's my dog. Big up to
Right.
Tariq. Go subscribe to his YouTube channel. He is one of the original OGs on the YouTube platform. Must give him credit for that.
The local OGs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. When we were doing a project, Relate Studios was doing a project years ago, and we were looking for local drone footage, and that's hard to come by. And we came across, I think one of the guys who works with us, he was like, yeah, this is this guy who does this drone footage called Tariq Eastman. And we reached out to him. And we literally, we purchased a footage of Pigeon Point, like one of his more popular shots, the one where he goes directly down over the jetty, right? And we purchased that, and it's public now, so I could talk about it. It was done for Film TT, and we had a whole set of footage that we put together, and that particular shot was part of it. And he was like, "What's it going to be used for? What's it going to be used for?" I said, "Well, I can't say right now. It's not released yet." And I don't think I ever got back to him. Tariq, you're finding out now that it was used for Film TT promotional video, and we paid for it, and of course we did the whole thing, and and that's the way to do it with content creators. You just go and grab people footage and use it.
Yeah.
You approach them, you ask them, and you get permission, and then you pay
and
them.
that's actually great to hear that y'all are doing that and going through the proper channels and proper avenues in order to sustain the creator economy in Trinidad. And it's something that's not been talked about, and we don't necessarily do. I mean, let me be real, I will be much more willing to respond to a DM that says, yo, X, Y, and Z is the case. We want to be able to use this photo or this video clip for this purpose. And if I'm offered $10 or $20, whatever, I just call in random figures. I will be much more inclined to take that than to see it online or have somebody screenshot it and send it to me, because I will take the action to say, yo, you can't really use this without paying for it. So it's either we go and settle negotiations on something, or like at this point I have a cease and desist letter drafted up by my lawyer.
For real?
He just did up like a template, and I just put the stuff in between. And anytime it's like if it's like for cultural reasons or thing, but like once you see like you profit enough from my work, cease and desist letter.
But I even feel like for cultural reasons, depending on who is using it, you have to let them know. I mean, at least credits you in some way that is just as visible as the video. So you don't want to get your name pushed down in some corner somewhere. If I'm not getting paid, at least credit me in a way that is just as visible as the content itself. And I think that's the least you can ask for content creators, that we have to get more mindful about how people use our content.
And going back to that, there was a point in time, and I think one of the first experiences I had with my content being stolen was actually, I think, by the ministry, one of the ministries, whoever controls the TV screens in the airport. I was on a flight to Miami or New York or somewhere, and I just happened to pass through, and I was like, yo, it's like that video playing on the screen. There's only big, the big display screen. Has like 6 TVs. I was like, but that's mine. Nobody in contact me. Nobody in send me a message saying they're using it. And I watching it, and I seeing my name watermarked on the bottom, and I'm like,
really?
Like I went to the airport, and I was like,
no, your name was literally watermarked on the bottom.
Yeah, my name watermarked on the bottom of the video. Like they just rip it from YouTube and started playing it, and I was like,
oh my!
It's like, how do I get in contact with that? I never found out who was behind that or why it was displayed. But I mean, is one of those things. I made solace with it. I was like, the airport is a place where a lot of people travel and pass through, right? And if that is something that's going to be one of your welcoming experiences as a foreign citizen coming to Trinidad for the first time, and hands off, like by all means, if that's going to enhance their experience, I have no problem with that. But it would still have been nice to have been reached out to, and at least known that it was going to be there. Then I would have gone and I would have taken my phone and took a selfie in front of my content and eat a Royal Castle.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I still think So for me, I could see how somebody who is patriotic and who loves their country could say, all right, this is benefiting my country in X way. But and this is for me as a content creator and for all of the young content creators out there who are making stuff. You have to be in control of that. You have to decide how you want your content to be used and whether or not you want to give it away or you want to be compensated for it, or it's a barter, or there's some system in play that allows you to get value from the thing that you're putting out there. Because ultimately, you've taken time, you're taking your energy, you're taking your creative mind to create this piece of content. And if somebody just kind of takes it, usurps the thing, just takes it, and then uses it for whatever purpose they want. And let me tell you, the whole idea about it is that, well, we way past the whole content for exposure thing. We way past that, right? But the whole idea of having to kind of like beg people to pay you for the effort that you make, I find that is slightly ridiculous. Now, of course, in your case, you made a decision that, all right, I want to let this one fly, which we have done before, by the way.
Yeah.
We have let it fly, by the way, before. But there are some companies and some people, we've had our own experience with that. And one of the biggest, I don't want to call names, a big company that is kind of involved in tourism, and again, kind of connected to the government of Trinidad and Tobago, stole one of our images years ago. We were out of the country. We were we were shooting a wedding in Beckway. And we got an email from the person who was in the picture saying, how did you give these people this image? And we like, no, we didn't know about that. I literally had to, and the internet there was terrible. I had to walk down the street by some bar to get internet on my phone to try and answer the email. And when we came back, what we do is we invoice them. And what happened is that they referred us to the agency, and it turns out that the agency that was doing the work for them had taken the image without permission. And then we invoiced the agency and we got paid. So I would say, yeah,
a big part of the reason that I made that conscious decision to make that video, because a lot of people don't know what they could have done, or in that situation, how to resolve it, or what action you can take. Like for me, sometimes I take a cease and desist letter automatically. I like to consider myself as a brand, right? I'm a personal brand, and I don't like any and everybody using my work or having access to my work. Like I have morals and values and stuff. Like for example, I wouldn't want a cigarette company attaching my face, name, or image, whereas people are recognized, hey, is Jono do that? I wouldn't want that attached to my personal brand, because that's not within my morals and values. So a situation like that is cease and desist letter, take it down. I don't want that. And that's a situation I'm well within my rights to do that. In your situation, you knew what you wanted from the situation. Like, look, this is what happened, or use this without permission. You are well within your rights to send an invoice.
Yes.
And
yes.
That's just how.
But I want. Go ahead. Sorry, but I wanted content creators to know that they have the power to make the choice.
That's definitely.
Yeah.
And that's why I made the references. It's your business, your brand, your work. You have the final decision as to say what goes where.
Yes.
And I will say this, and I'll take it even further to the jobs in which you take, or your company takes, or whatever. If like I remember being reached out to by a local artist to do a music video, and there's certain things I'm not doing. I'm not putting in music video just because of my beliefs. I don't do guns. I don't do drugs. I don't do violence. I don't do sexualization of women, and So if your concept kind of falls into that category, I'm like, I think I'll pass on this. I think I might not be the right fit.
Yes.
And it's also the language in which you speak to the client, because you have to remember there's a client-artist relationship. You being the artist, it is a business transaction transpiring, and you have to be respectful. You can't just say, nah, I'm not on that thing, go and find somebody else. If you talk to them in a rude way, they're gonna take it the wrong way, and they might know somebody who knows somebody, and it's like, nah, we didn't want to work with him. He have a bit of attitude or whatever. So I had to be respectful, like, yo, like, my morals and values don't align with this. And I remember the artist coming back to me and was like, yo, I respect that. I really respect that. Like, nobody's ever told me that before now.
Yes.
And it's just one of those things. I know who I am as an individual. I know I'm as a brand, know where I want my company to go. If it don't line up, it's no love lost. And you have
Yeah.
to put forward the best possible work that you can as well, regardless of the budget. And I will say that one time.
And I would take from that what you say is that what you said is that the content you produce has to align with your values, right? I
Well,
would kind
well, for me, that's how I choose to look at it.
no,
Now,
but no, but let me tell you what you're saying there. You're not just saying something that's personal. You're saying a way of thinking about the things you produce. Because let me put it this way: all of us have a different reason or purpose for doing something. Now you could find that somebody like, yeah, and if any money, once I get that check, I doing anything, right? That person has no scruples. That person, you're kind of like saying, well, you don't know where to place them. But if you believe in something, if the things that you do are connected to a set of values, then I could be like, I could triangulate Jono and say, all right, I could look for Jono for this particular thing because of the way he treats with not just his content, but that's a life thing. That's not a content thing. It just is an expression of you. It's aligned with the values that you have. And I think that's a powerful thing when you're creating content in that if and years ago, we did a talk on that you have to know what you are in business for. If you're in business just to make money, you'll do anything to make money. If you're in business to collaborate, you will collaborate. If you're in business to build people and give them more the ability to earn money and stabilize their family, you'll do that. If you're in business to preserve particular values, then that will come out. So I'm saying that you're not just saying that as somebody who is making content. You're saying that as a person. You're saying this is what I believe in, and my content reflects that. And I don't know if you agree with that or not.
no, I 100% agree. And it draws me to another saying. Like, some people view it and they say, oh, it's luck. But you know what luck is? Luck is where opportunity meets hard work.
That's right.
And simple as, if I want to do music videos, but I'm producing a food content channel, people are gonna reach out to you for food content and not music videos. If you want to do music videos, you gotta do music videos. You gotta tailor-made your mindset to think, all right, this is what I want to do. Yes, sometimes you may have to take a food video in order, if that's what pays the bills, but you don't necessarily have to put out that because it's not necessarily the content that you want to be making, But there's a system and a way in order to reach where you want to go. You just have to figure it out, and that is 100% unique to every individual and how they go about their work and structuring what their posts are on social media, what their business is, and it could be for anything. For you and Relate Series, it might be different from me and my work. And I'll go into another point as well, and something that I recently started doing. I've started to align myself with other businesses and work more freelance because I realized that I was not as strong in the pitching and doing, but whereas the production side of things I'm much stronger at. So I work with a lot of other companies that may not be my company, and I get the work done for them because they are much better at pitching or presenting or curating proposals, So they will get the work, but they still need somebody like yourself or myself who can actually make the content, And I found that in the last probably 18 months or so, that's worked leaps and bounds for me.
That's a great point. That's a really excellent point. I had Jared Best Mitchell on a few weeks ago talking about his sales stuff. One of the points that he made is that you have to outsource your weakness. So It's almost like you very, very strong in productions. The visuals are very strong, but you don't have 10, 20 employees. It's mostly just you doing this stuff. So what do? You align, as he said, you align yourself with people who are strong in other things. So they might pitch the work, they might sell it, and then they call you to fulfill the other part. So then you have a collaborative process going on, even in creating your own content.
That's right. And in the last, I would say in the last 12 months or so, it's kind of pivoted again for me now, where I've really developed a passion for what I'm doing on the social media platforms. And that's a great way for me to, one, get a paycheck, make a living, and focus my free time now on making my own personal content. So there's a system behind it as well, and a different rationale of thinking now. And this is something that just kind of happened, like the whole YouTube, Instagram, social media thing for me was just an outlet. It actually started with a series. What was this series called? Quarantine, which is like hashtag quarantine
I saw
on
that.
Instagram, and I was just making home videos, like literally home videos, and that in itself was me taking the time. I had signed up for Skillshare, and I was learning and learning and learning. And I was like, I don't have a way to apply this. I was like, all right, this last course was on color grading, so I'm gonna go and do an episode and just focus all my effort onto the color grade and making the colors pop as best and how look as best and stuff, and challenging myself. And the next one was like framing, and the next one was sound design, and it just kind of was that, and that's how that series came about. It was just a challenge to myself. In terms of filmmaking, I didn't really think anything of it at the time.
Yeah, that is actually one of the things that happened. I think happened to me too, in terms of when I was in quarantine. I did a lot of development online, like doing stuff. You just turn yours into more content, which is interesting. That's the way to go. Let's talk a little bit about this, one of your most popular videos. Not the most popular one, but one of your most popular videos. That video on Trinidad and Tobago. I actually have it here, and I want to play it for the people to see, because maybe some people don't know what kind of work that you do. It's a few years old, but it's still very, very good. So
which one is this?
That's the one where you do drone shots all over the country.
Oh, the drone video.
The drone video. All right. Yeah. So let's take a look at that. Hopefully, I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna solo it in the stream. So I'm gonna show it here, because I did in fact illegally take it from YouTube to play it here. So I'm confessing that right now.
Nice small thing.
The cease and desist letter forthcoming.
Small thing. Small thing.
All right, so I'm gonna play it, and I'll let it run, and then we'll talk about it a little bit, right? Okay, let's go. Yeah, I find that to be fantastic. No.
Yeah, man, that's actually
What?
super nostalgic watching back. I have not watched that video in probably the last 12 or 13 months.
Yeah, I was wondering how it would make you feel. I have some questions. I have some questions about it. There are three things that I noticed about it. Two of which, like one I just noticed, but there are two other things. The first thing is that you really paid attention to the sound design and try to include the sounds, because I know that drone and picking up those sounds, so you put them in to give the thing life, which it was very deliberate, right?
Mm-hmm.
The second thing I noticed is that you included that oval shot of cricket, which obligatory for you because of course you're a massive cricket player and fan, right? So that was interesting. That's a personal touch, I think, that I don't think people would have picked up on.
Well, yeah, yes, and that to answer that question now, yes and no.
Okay, well, okay, right, okay, you'll get to answer just now. But the third thing, which I'm not sure if people know this, and I want to ask you why, and you'll tell me, because we've done things like that in the past, which is that the shot with the flag is played in reverse. All right, I'm not sure if many people noticed that, but when you were putting the thing together, did you say, I didn't want the drone to move that way, I wanted it to move this way? And you said, if I play this in reverse, no one will notice and it'll have the same impact.
Okay, so let me answer your first question, which would be the CPL with the song with Bravo song. At that point, I was still actively playing cricket 5 days a week, and
Wow.
that film was released like I think it was like a day or two after TKR had actually won the CPL back in I think it was 2017 or 2018, I can't remember. But so that was deliberately there because it was relevant at that point in time. And that was really, really the driving force behind that. And then to answer your second question, or third question, the flag in reverse is a complete flukes, and I just had all of this footage. It was I had the drone for 12 or 13 months, and I just had footage from various different projects I was working on, various different reasons, and I'd never had the intention of making that video until
Right.
one day I had a drone full, and I just started looking back at it, and I was like, wait, there's some real nice stuff here. I sure I could color grade this and make it look away and find a nice song. And I was like, what, let me just do it. I had a couple of days in between travel trips. I had like a week off, and I was like, I'm not into that. I kind of booked the time off, and I was like, let me do that. And I just pieced it together, went through all the drone footage I had at the time to come up with this video. And that's really and truly how it came about. There was no intention, and putting the flag there is I wanted to put it after that shot because it was a patriotic segment, coming off of the CPL, coming off for that win. What else you gonna put after that than a Trinidad flag? You had to symbolize where you come from,
Right.
give it context as well. And it just so happened that the shot looked better in reverse than it did the right way around. And it's something I've seen it done a number of times. You see it a lot with waterfalls.
Are you going to make the reference I think you're going to make? Let me see if you're going to make the reference I think you're going to make. Go ahead.
What's that?
Let me see if you're going to make the reference. There's a specific reference to a waterfall in a particular movie that is widely known as... you don't know that reference? Okay. Do you know... I didn't want to cut you off, but because I wanted you to reference it specifically, but go ahead.
No, the reference I was going to make was the Kesson Jimmy October video Magic.
Oh, more recent. Oh, okay. My reference is an old person reference. My reference is actually, let me just stick it in here. My reference is, and many people would know this because this is the first movie that Jennifer Lopez would have acted in. I got rave kind of recognized, which is Anaconda with Ice Cube. And I don't know if you have you of course you've seen it, right?
I think so.
You've never, okay. Well, it's one of the Brazil, large anacondas eating people, blah 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 blah. Is big back in the late 90s. Anyway, when in a shot, there's a shot when they were leaving the location. Is the same shot they used for arriving at the location. Unfortunately, there was a waterfall in the background, and the waterfall is going up, and nobody noticed until later on. That time, the YouTube wasn't a thing, but the years later, it came out on YouTube that they had reversed the footage, and I just thought that was a nice little tidbit. But in your case, it was the Kes and Jimmy October video.
Yeah,
So they were,
was
what waterfall was that?
I don't know. I like off the top of my head, I don't remember which location that they would have went to film that. But that video, I love that video. That video was beautifully done. I think it was done by Oliver Milne, and he's our boss himself. Really, really talented guy.
Right.
Right. So yeah, that would have been the reference I made. And to answer your first question on the sound design. The sound design is what I think brought the film to life. I'll call it a short film because it's just a short film of Trinidad and Tobago. Right. And there's no real storyline and no real purpose. The sole purpose of that video is to show as many different variations of the country that we can. So you'll see from beaches to little bits of Port of Spain to Tobago to plantations to all the countryside, the rainforest, all of these different things. And it's just everything to do with Trinidad that I had like previously filmed.
Yes.
And just edited together. It took me a week to pull it off.
Okay, that's not long considering.
But yeah, the hardest part about it is actually going to get the footage, going all these different locations. But I had all of that ready to compile it.
Yes.
The easy part.
Right. Took about a week to do it. It's a beautiful film, and I think that considering that the amount of views on it, people probably think the exact same thing. The same thing about it. I didn't recognize earlier all of the people on LinkedIn who have been shouting us out. So we have Andrew saying good afternoon. Good afternoon, Andrew.
Good afternoon.
I can't show the comments on Saturdays on the screen, and I have the live show during the week is done on a different platform, and I could show their comments on the screen. On this platform, I can't show it on the screen, so they're probably wondering why I didn't shout them out. But let me shout them out now. Andrew, thank you so much for being on. Shri Mahabir, she said, hey, Juma and Jono. So she said she's hailing out Jono. And Andrew saying, my guys is wearing the national colors. I see you, Jono.
Yeah, actually, dog, taking the shit, dog, pitch lake, doubles, calypso, big up an individual aesthetic. I'm a homie, boy. I'm a homie from a long time. And, repping my brand.
Oh, yeah, you merch. Oh, yeah, we're going to talk about that just now.
Right now, Barber's 9 essentials. So after, tame the beast.
Yeah, tame the beast yourself. So you're saying good to see you. Keneal is saying hello from Jamaica.
Big up Jamaica. I can't wait to go back to Jamaica, boy. I can't wait.
Yes.
But I can't open fast enough.
That's one of the sore points in my Caribbean journeys. I've been to 10 different Caribbean countries. I have not made it to Jamaica yet. So sorry to anger all the Jamaicans. I'm going to get there eventually. John, I hope you're still there. You're frozen right now, but I hope you're still there. All right? Okay, yeah, you're still there. There we go. You're inside. You're inside, silly. There with me, right?
Yeah, man. That must be all the Netflix watching.
All the Netflix, yeah, exactly.
Everybody working from home today, it's Saturday and stuff,
And they're relaxing. Netflix, Amazon Prime, Hulu, Disney Plus.
Banana Prime Day was actually this week, so I think everybody having a little bit of withdrawal symptoms from what we either purchased or did not purchase.
I guess you're right, exactly. So purchase or did not purchase, both of those things, because I got something. I've had Prime for like almost a decade now. Every year I question why I keep it, and but this year it wasn't like that. This year I was like, okay, I could actually get something I wanted for a cheaper price.
Yeah, there's its benefits every once in a while.
Yeah. So Sheldon was saying good afternoon, and to our earlier discussion, he was saying we need to seek permission to use the work of creators. We need to show, let me see the rest of his comment, show them respect that they deserve. So he was commenting on the discussion we were having earlier on about.
I agree with them full-heartedly.
Yeah. And Robert, who's from out in the US, he was saying, just passing through this morning, Jono's vids are awesome.
Big up
Um,
and
I,
respect.
I've
Love
never
and
heard of him
respect.
until,
Love and respect.
yeah, yeah. And he said he never heard of you until the show. Much love. So
Much love. Go and like, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel.
go across and just subscribe to Jono's YouTube channel. Yeah, and okay, well, Andrew's saying, well done. I like the idea of sending an invoice. Well done. Then Nashay is saying, hello. Nashay is from India. He's saying, hello. Well, I think he's in New York, out of India. So Dana is saying, hey guys, enjoying the episode. I'm calling all these things because LinkedIn is my main platform. So my LinkedIn people will turn up. And Dana is saying, our country is beautiful as represented by Jono on his platform.
Yeah, man, I appreciate
And Sheldon is saying, that's a beautiful film, Jono. Kareem, who is out of the Philippines, is saying, what's up, brother? And he's showing his love as well. So we have people,
massive love and respect to everybody on this stream.
right? So people are turning up and stuff like that. I got a lot of engagement on LinkedIn because that's my home social media, you know. So thanks everybody. And of course, early on we were able to show Janelle's comment, which I showed earlier on. Janelle was saying that was fantastic, a beautiful perspective of our country. And events. Well, the other one she said events. Let me show this one. Yeah, and events. Yeah. So
much appreciated.
Yeah, so they love your stuff, man. They love your stuff.
And it just goes to show, like I was having the conversation this week actually of what Trinidad has to offer, and the comparison that I like to make is Trinidad is the Hawaii of the Caribbean. It's just not documented in the same way, but we have all the same features, we have all the same locations, we have all the same things. We just don't have Hawaii documented the way that they have so many content creators all working towards the one goal of promoting Hawaii. And Trinidad is as beautiful as or more beautiful than. I've never been to Hawaii, so that will have to
yeah, reserve your final judgment.
Until I reach out to form my own opinion, but I have spoken to people who have went, and they say, yo, you're 100% spot on with that. Like, we have everything that Hawaii has. And it's just for us to come together and document it and put forward on these different platforms and show it off to the world, you know?
I agree with that. I think where you're from, showcasing that is very important because people only get a sense of the benefits of not just coming here, but interfacing with the people and interfacing with what we have to offer when they get appreciation by seeing. And like videos are a massive way to do that. When people can see it, they feel like they could, oh, I could reach out and touch this thing. I could interface with it. So you're doing a great job with that, Jono. A really excellent job. And I commend all the content creators who are doing the same, you know, showing the beauty of Trinidad and Tobago, you know, just not just the events, but, you know, like the people and the natural things and, you know, things that people don't usually see.
It's also about the perspective as well, you know. Yeah. Trinidad has been labeled and showcased as in such a negative way in global media. It's for people like yourself and myself to change that narrative, and platforms such as Instagram, YouTube, Facebook are an opportunity for us to change the narrative and change the perspective which the world views us on, because it literally takes one video to go and reach 1 million people on a platform, and people go start to be like, hang on, I thought that was this, and then they start to Google search and they discover what we really have to offer. And it's this a massive part. We have the culture, we have the food, we have the soca, we have the carnival, we have everything, nature, hikes, riverboats, we have nylon pools, we have everything that you can think of is in this Twin Island Republic. And I mean, this t-shirt, it goes back again, everything is represented on the t-shirt, and it's
let's switch gears. No, since you mentioned t-shirt, let me show. I'm gonna show in the stream your website. All right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move us around a little bit, right? So don't get worried. I'm gonna take you off and I'm gonna move us around a little bit, right?
I could just intervene in a little segment, eh?
All right. You want to go ahead? Tell me what you want to say.
This website has not been shown anywhere else prior, so this is the first time that anybody on the platform, on the stream, is getting to watch it. I have done zero marketing for it yet, because the only items that I've gotten in are the hats, and the hats are out of stock on the website right now because I've sold out all. So
All
this
right.
is the first time everybody getting to see the website.
All right. So we're gonna
This is our
capitalize on that, right?
exclusive. This is our exclusive.
Is it exclusive? Okay,
That
right. Okay.
exclusive.
Let me line it up. Let me line the thing up, right? Let me put it this way so people get a little bigger view of it. And let me change the shape of the window because it reflects in the actual thing. Let me change the shape of the window. All right. So this is Jono's site. Welcome to Jono Hirst. I think it was a real bold decision. And I don't know if you're going to change this in the future to make the website merchandising or selling focused. And I wanted to talk to you about that now. Of course, you have an example of the things on your head, right?
Mhm.
And you said that these are not in stock at the moment, but bookmark the site, people, bookmark it, because I suspect that when are you gonna start to flood the site with more merchandise?
Well, just due to the situation in Trinidad right now, I can't get stuff printed.
Mhm.
So that's been the major drawback. These people that I'm using are not printing, but the website is based more for international customers. So people who are outside of Trinidad, they can purchase from the website, and they will be able to make purchases of any of the items now. But the local side is not up and running just because it can't happen right now with the current restrictions in Trinidad and Tobago.
Mhm.
So I made the decision not to market it. If anybody finds it, they find it. Like it'll be linked in the YouTube description, but I haven't actively gone out to promote it. I also have a promotional video in mind, but I just need a little bit more time and a little bit less restrictions to be able to,
Yes, to get it done.
to get it done. Is
All right. All right. So let me ask you. I'm going to ask you some of your business now. I hope if you can't answer, just say I can't answer. If you could, say you could. Right. Okay. So one of the challenges with content creators monetizing the things that they want to do is just being able to get the money. When people pay, just to get paid. So the other day, one of my good connections and another Caribbean content creator, and she has a term called the Caribbeanpreneur, which is like entrepreneurs in the Caribbean. Narissa Golan. She asked a question about what's one of the main challenges about doing business or being a Caribbean entrepreneur. And I said, well, moving money across borders in and out of the country, like being able to sell a T-shirt and get it in your bank account the next day, right? That's one of the major challenges. How have you been able to, or what was the system used? How have you been able to work around or do or find the place where you could sell and get paid? Is that an easy thing or is that a difficult thing?
It's a kind of workaround process, but I think I believe it's Colonel Karen Rose has a fantastic video on it, and that's from him. I set up an account with GMMB, and I'm using PayPal to receive funds from the website.
Karen
From
Rose, yes,
yeah,
he's on LinkedIn with. I just yesterday commented on a post he put up. But go ahead, yes.
yeah. So that's just from that video. Is kind of was like the pivotal moment where I was able to get a PayPal account set up in order to facilitate the website and receive the money. And I think with business and with business in the Caribbean, we a lot of the time we view ourselves as individuals, but actually this is our business, and you have to have a separation between your personal money and a business's money, right? So as a content creator, all the money that I make is not necessarily my money; it's a business's money, and I have to respect it as that. So
That's
there
right.
must be capital to fund the website. There must be capital to pay expenses on overheads like that, whether that be editing software, buying songs, assets, paying people, for these services. And another thing, and one of the main driving forces behind the website is multiple revenue streams, and is something that I've been working really hard during the pandemic to come, because it was an eye-opening experience just being focused on production side alone, that was my only source of income. But now I've set up things in such a way where it's different revenue streams. And okay, 1 month where maybe business is not so well, I could pick up Slack and I could run some more promotions on the website, and I could actually monetize that and monetize my creativity, because the purchases made from the website are going to go straight back into funding ideas that I have for maybe a docu-series on YouTube, or maybe a travel episode, or maybe heading across the Tobago to explore somewhere again and show off more things. Because a lot of people see the content, but they don't realize that there's a financial side backing everything. Whether that is the equipment that I use, the cameras, like these things break. If a camera breaks, I have to be able to purchase one like that. Or if even something as simple as having money to full gas into my car to be able to go and make this, all of these are expenses that need to be paid. And there's no secret that it's a difficult thing as being a content creator or running a production company in the Caribbean to do these things. So it's just setting up and having different multiple revenue streams for yourself.
I think you hit on. Let me hide this now, because I think let me switch this around a little bit. Let me hide this. I'm on the wrong side now, so let me hide you, and let me show you back in the stream. Yes, okay, so we're back the way we format. You hit on a couple of key things there, Andrew. We're going to come in for a landing just now because we've been on for just over an hour. So we're going to come in for a landing just now, but you hit on a couple of key, very key things. Well, of course, thanks for sharing the information about being able to set up your store using PayPal and doing the account with GMMB. A very, very deadly combination, in my opinion. And you get your money inside. And of course, Karen Rose would have spoken about that. That's on YouTube, yes?
I think I watched your video on Instagram, but it may be on YouTube.
Right, so it's online somewhere. So go check out Karen Rose and how you set that thing up to get your purchases in. But another thing you hit on, which I found was very important, you said that you have to separate your personal finances from your business finances. And that's something I've always advocated for, especially with people who are starting off from the get-go. Some people don't get it right, but for the time you know about it, you need to fix that, because the money, you rightfully said, the money is not your money only. Yeah, so I found that was a very good thing you hit on. And the second thing you hit on was, what was it? You spoke about multiple revenue streams. And I agree with you. When you can't do production, you can't go out, you have to have something else that you can sell that you don't have to necessarily work for. And so I will talk about multiple revenue streams, and I would say also passive income. So once you don't have to get involved in the purchasing any t-shirts, once there's some fulfillment process that doesn't involve you, it becomes passive income. And so you're able to make money while not being out there actually working. And I think that's very important.
And that is essentially how the website is set up.
Right.
They organize the printing and shipping and delivery services, and I just put it up there to think. But I also want it to be and have a double-sided effect where people in Trinidad who want to purchase are able to, be able to say, hey, come, I want to buy this, I want to support, and be able to get it in Trinidad without having to go through the shipping process. So I figured out a way in which to do that. Is just right now, hopefully today 2:30, some more restrictions will get lifted, and I could officially launch the website platform as soon as my printing service guys in Trinidad have been cleared to work. We're gonna push out the website full 100, and you'll see the full YouTube video, Instagram post, everything, sponsored post.
Very nice. Very nice.
I want to as much as possible stay within the rules that they have set out. Obviously, they have their reasons for setting it out, so I want to stay within that right now and not, go forward and break any laws where I could get charged.
Right. We don't want you to go in jail. We don't want you to spend $10,000 fine or whatever how much in jail. We don't want that. We want it to be free so that when work start back, that you could go out and you could do your stuff. But you're outdoors guy. You ain't worried to be in any cage. So what I would say about that is when I want to support my local people, we are going to be thinking about merch sometime in the future. If you like the guys who you print with, send me over their stuff and I will check them out. And if we get stuff from them and we like it, we'll big them up. We'll say, hey, go by these fellas, and we try to send stuff their way. Because as much as we know we have all the Teespring and the this and that and all there that does t-shirt, I prefer that we give the people here the work.
Well, that's exactly why I set up the website with Teespring. Teespring is the platform that I use, but like I have a lot of people outside who have discovered the channel and want to support, but I have no, like, it's way too expensive for me to get things from Trinidad and ship to them. I mean, I was looking at shipping costs and we paid double the price of the item, triple the price of the item to get a package from here to the UK or from here to New York. And partly it's pandemic prices we face, but you know, it's something that I want to have the platform split where if you are from Trinidad, send me a DM on Instagram kind of thing. Make a order. I'll have all the same items available that are on the website in Trinidad. And I have different vendors. Everybody's lined up. Everybody's ready to go. It's just, you know, the restriction process that we're waiting to be lifted for it to, you know, officially be launched.
Right. Yeah, so that's great. And I thank you so much for the insight into this. And this is an exclusive, people, right here on the Useful Content Creation Show. This is an exclusive showing Jono, Hirst, and you know, right after after 2:30 today, it's on. Let's just say that. Let's just say that, right?
I like how you're manifesting it. I like how you're putting it into the universe. It's going to happen. I like the positivity.
Let me just say that, because we want people to be able to do stuff, right? And so on. All right, so I think we're going to come in for a landing here. I had a little bit more things to ask you, but I think we covered a lot of stuff. You covered stuff on collaboration. You covered stuff on how you create your content. You talk about the pandemic and how
As you talk about collaboration, I can't go through our entire podcast and not big up my boy Joshua De Silva, my content creation partner, my brethren from a long time, fellow YouTuber, my opening batsman partner. You know, big up Joshua, and you see at the same time we have content coming out together. We have more stuff, more things. We're always planning and preparing content. Plenty ideas can't stop running.
All right, so big up to Joshua. What's his YouTube?
Joshua De Silva.
So literally Joshua De Silva. All right, okay. So yeah, go check out Joshua too. Subscribe to his YouTube. Let's see similar
content out there. Big up Joshua.
Wait now, do I know Joshua? Am I already subscribed to him? I might be, you know, because I've recently, within the last year, I've made it a point to subscribe to local YouTubers. Maybe I might be.
We've done quite a number of collaboration videos together, both on my channel and his channel. Some backyard cricket videos. We did our hot wings challenge. We did a number of different videos. We go fishing together.
Right.
So chances are you would have seen him. May have subscribed. He's also a West Indian cricketer.
Yeah. All right. Let me just show off a little bit. Let me show you something here. Do I have this loaded up? I don't know if I have it loaded up. Let me show off a little bit here. I'm gonna solo this.
Sir Curtly.
Yeah, we're going through Antigua, and he was on the plane. I strike up a conversation with him, man. And yeah,
legend.
Yeah, he is, and I kind of know him from my father's a big, massive cricket fan. He used to play a lot of cricket, and so I know his face. I know all of the greats from that era. You know, the Courtney Walshes and the Courtney Ambrose and all those guys. And yeah, so when I saw him, I was like,
you had to grab a pic.
I had to grab a little pic. I was like, hey, you know, and the guys in the airport were like, you can't take pictures in here. Delete it. I did delete it, but I had two, so I deleted the one.
Nah, I didn't know.
You know, so yeah, I met him in the airport. He was very gracious and everything, and we got the pic together. So that was cool. That was a cool experience.
As you mentioned, that is one of my pet peeves. I've gone through a number of different airports in the past, and it's a case where sometimes I have my GoPro or my vlogging camera out and I'm taking little videos talking to myself, and somebody will come and say, "Oh, you can't film here." I was like, I do not vlog. I just documented my trip. I'm not filming anything or whatever. And they say,
Yeah.
"Oh, delete the footage." And I'm like, "Okay, no problem." And then I pull out my phone and I do the same thing with my phone, and nobody comes up and tells me anything.
Yeah. It's a whole
And
perception thing, boy.
that's one of the last tips that I think I will leave with any young content creators out there. Don't focus on the gear. The most useful camera that you have is the one that is available. Like
Yeah.
a lot of the times I don't have time to set up my camera or rig up the camera, change lenses on it, and I just pull out my phone and I get the shot. That the same lockdown Trinidad video, like
Mhm.
90% of that video is shot on my cell phone.
Right.
It's just what's available. The story is king, and always remember the story is king, and that's just how it goes.
Yes. I agree with 100%. The best camera is the one with you. Most definitely. Most definitely. All right. So I think that's it. So, Jono, we looked at your website and stuff, but tell the people where they can find you online. Just kind of rattle off your Instagram and your whatever handles, and so where people can find you.
Yeah, at Jono Hirst on Instagram, at Jono Hirst on YouTube, at Jono Hirst on Facebook. A kind of unique name. Thank you, mom and dad. And I'm easily findable on all the platforms.
And before we go, let me make a little joke. I'll tell you a little story. So I know that you're a big Kes fan, right? True? These are facts.
Huge.
Right. I know your favorite song that you can listen to over and over again is
I'm a mask. I'm a Kes mask.
Never Kes Mask, right?
Huge fan.
Years ago, Hans Differenthaler contacted us to shoot his wedding.
Mm-hmm.
And we met. I remember that really well because we met at Ruby Tuesdays in Grand Bazaar. We met at Ruby Tuesdays in Grand Bazaar. We sat down. We spoke about the wedding, and he told me what he wanted to do and a big part of the wedding. And I remember that too because that was the first time that we did the booth, which was like that back in those days. Nobody was doing photo booths for weddings. Like we took it and we set it up. We tested. We went to their house because they played. The band played in their house in their yard. They set up a tent and the band played at Hans's wedding. And I remember, Hans is easy. Everybody knows Kes and some of the other guys. But what I didn't know,
John, Riyadh, Mario,
Riyadh,
man, pick up the whole band.
What I didn't know. So you see how you said Yon? I did not know it was Yon. I was calling the guy John. I was calling the guy John the whole time. The whole night, and like it's only afterwards when I went out and I heard somebody say, "Yeah, it's Yon." Like, oh my goodness!
Yeah, a lot of people make that mistake. I not made that mistake the first couple of times I was around them. I was like, "John," he was like, "It's Yon."
It's Yon. Yeah, he probably gets that all the time. But you know, here's the funny thing: is when I first saw your name, I was like, "Is this Jono?" I was like, "Is this Jono?"
Yo, I am going to call Yon after this, and I'm going to tell him the story.
Yeah, he may not remember that, but when we showed up, I was like calling the guy John all night. I was like, my goodness, So that's a little funny thing that happened. This is a Kes related story.
Yeah, I mean, big up Kes band. Essence Festival tonight. I was part of that production crew. Really blessed to be part of such amazing work and helping put forward and push forward the musical culture, the visual culture, because it's a team effort. There's a huge production team behind these things, and there's a lot of moving parts. Big up Jared, who's coordinated a lot of these things. Big up Kes management, everybody. Big up the whole team. Really, really blessed to have seen that from what it is.
Excellent.
Really just want to put forward the best we can of Trinidad. Everybody working towards the same goals and different in their own different way.
Most definitely. It was great to have you on, Jono. Great to have you on. Thanks for taking the time. I know you said the whole day was free, but that may not exactly have been true. Thanks for taking the time.
It's free. I'm gonna head right over there now. I might just finish up editing a video. I have my next video coming out at 2,000 subscribers. I'm not putting forward anything before that. I have something special coming. I will let you all know that one time I have something as a unique perspective on local events. Let's put it that way.
All right. So
something special coming.
So Jono right now is at 1.9. Let's get into the 2,000 so we can release that video fast. It's taking too long to release it. Let's get it. By the end of the day, another video.
1,979 with 21 persons away.
21 persons. Let's get him up to speed. Jono Hirst on YouTube, so you can release that video. It's been too long. It's been a long time. Let me do that right now and get him up to speed so you can release the video. Thanks again, Jono, for being on. And everybody who jumped on, we thank you all for joining us. Let me just read a couple last comments before we go out. Micaiah was saying, good day, guys. I'm quickly popping in and out. And he was saying, Jono and Juma, 2 interesting names in a combination. True. This is true. And Dana says she's heading over to subscribe. So she's going to subscribe right now. So that's good. You know, so Dana going to add to your numbers.
Dana is still on, leave a comment and I will subscribe back.
Right, Dana's on LinkedIn, so Dana, you heard Jono, jump on, when you go into YouTube, jump on, let's just say the last video and leave a comment and he will subscribe back to you. So yeah, that's it. So thanks a lot, people, for sticking around. I know it's been a while we've been talking, but it's been an excellent conversation.
Thank you.
You're welcome, man. And you'll see us again next week on the Useful Content Creation.